Topic number three and the final topic of today, the five things that you need to remember before submitting your final bracket. Now, this could mean anything, Dion. And giving us a topic that could mean anything, usually dangerous because there's so many different ways that we could go with this. But I'll ask you this. Do you want to come up with five collectively, or should we come up with five each?
What if we went like back and forth and then we chose the five best out of what we came up with together?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Um, because I got five things I remind myself already. The first one is like because I get way too into upsets. So
Mhm.
the first one is the good teams are good.
That's yes. Good teams are good and beat bad teams.
Yes.
That's one that okay, honestly, as we go through this, go ahead and put that at this. That's on the list. You need to remember that yes, that's a spunky underdog. Yes, they played well, but they're playing a good basketball team. A good high major basketball team. So that's the one thing I say. The one thing I would add to that as a caveat, if you are gonna pick it, make sure the team you pick can shoot threes. I don't give a damn about defense. I really do not. Do they got a Jack Golke? Can they hit 12 threes? That's what I really want to know. So I would throw in a reason as can this team make threes? If you can't, you aren't a true underdog. You just made the tournament.
Mhm.
What are some other things that we need to know before submitting our bracket?
Um, I would say the other one that I always remind myself. Also, Will Riley went in our draft above Casparis. Like, make that make any sense? I don't.
But it's just points though. Will Riley does score more than Casparis.
Does he actually?
Yeah, usually, well, as of late, he has.
Okay. I was going based off the average. I felt like Conspiracies was higher, but I'm probably wrong on that one. The other thing I always remind myself when I'm doing the bracket is kind of what you mentioned about the shooting. It's the big arenas that they play in. Check what arenas they're playing in. Because if
Mhm.
you have a team that relies on threes, but their Sweet 16 is like, let's say at Chase Center in front of 20 some odd thousand people, or like, sometimes they do like the football thing for the Final Four, Alamo Dome this year. It's always like check the arenas before you make the picks. Where are they going to be playing at?
That's a good one. One I'll throw out there is that coaching matters in the NCAA tournament. It matters. Like you can, and look, I'm already gonna make this mistake, so this is bad advice. Like Kevin Willard's not good in the NCAA tournament. I am going to pick Maryland really far in this tournament. I do not care. I'm going to get there. It's the Crab Five. But in all seriousness, with these quick turnarounds, right? If you do win that first game, that's a very quick scout. It's a very quick turnaround. Like coaching is obviously important in college basketball. I feel like I'm just saying like a very obvious thing here, but just remember when you're going through the matchups, you're going through the numbers, you're going through like, the 2 point percentage and the shooting and all that. Remember who the coach is and think if that coach is bald before you make your decision.
The next one I got is double check when some of these conference tournaments happened. Because some of these teams ain't played in like 2 weeks.
That's a good and you have like some of these teams like Wisconsin who are coming in off short rest and
Mhm.
playing in different altitude where they're playing. So, yeah, you got to be careful on that. My next point, somewhat similar to your first point, but I do want to make this known. Great players do great things in
Yeah,
March.
yeah.
I'm looking at the Purdue High Point game. All right, I gotta say it. All right, I am sick of this High Point shit. All right, Braden Smith is about to bust them boys' ass, respectfully. Now he might give up just as many points, but they are going to score more points than High Point. This isn't the 250s on Ken Palm. This is real life. Braden Smith is about that. All right, he is going to bust that ass. I am so excited to get to the point where Purdue is at that point because I'm having words with the High Point backers of the world. And I know you are one, Dion. You'll be the first to have a word with.
Man, listen, I love Braden. I was on the like Braden should make the NBA train early. I'm officially off of it. I want to I'm on the Braden should hit the portal train now. I would love to see Braden at like, I think it would be hilarious if Braden hit the portal. He won't though. Purdue basketball means way too much to these kids. Um, but if there ever was somebody though.
Hey, if I could be the truest sick coach, imagine a world, a content world for us too, where Braden Smith transfers to Indiana. Like he wants to stay in the state of Indiana. He transfers. He's like, you know what? I don't like what Paint did. I want to bust his ass 2 times a year.
I was gonna say Braden on Kentucky would be special.
Yeah.
Braden
Oh,
on
yeah, some special guards. All right, let's do one more, Dion, because I feel like we've given some good things here. What's one more that you should know before submitting your bracket?
Don't be afraid of freshmen. Like, let's stop that. Let's stop that. Like, if you're a good basketball player, you're a good basketball player. It doesn't matter what year you are. Obviously, like if you're giving me Braden Smith Jr., Braden Smith versus like a special freshman, I'm taking Braden all day. I'm taking Braden over anybody in the country though, besides the High Point team, apparently.
I love Braden, unless high points across to them.
Unless it's time for it.
So that I feel like those are pretty good. I am going to add one bonus before we get out of here, though. If it's chalky, don't change it just because your bracket's chalky. Like that goes back to your first point, Dion. Like good teams win.
Yeah.
Like I saw and I like his stuff. I like his content. I think it was Titus over at Barstool was like Jay Williams is like I think he called him like some names that I'm not gonna repeat on here because like his final four was all 1 and 2 seeds. And then he did his and it was like all 1 seed and a 3 seed. And he's like, oh shit, like I'm at this point. Sometimes chalky is chalky, but like if that's how the bracket is laid out, just trust it. All right, let it be chalky. You don't gotta overthink it. Be all cute and spunky just because you want a 14 seed in your Sweet 16.
I think if you go all chalk, you're most likely to win your bracket challenge. Like if you
I
just
might
pick the
just do
higher.
honestly. I might just submit a bracket where all the higher seeds win. All right, we get all 1 seeds, and I don't even pick a champion. It's the game gets forfeited. Like I just
Well, if you just chose Duke to win as the one seed, you definitely are going to win because that team is so much better than everybody
yeah,
else.
don't overthink it. Duke is Duke. Those teams are those teams. Always remember, we'll be like the little devil on your shoulder, me and Dion, as you're picking your bracket. Never forget what we say.